Your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Carl Goldman in the studio with my son Kyle, Deputy Tim Ferrone of the Santa Clarita Valley Sheriffs. As you're driving around Santa Clarita, stay clear of the 14. The brush fire still going on over by Soledad Canyon. SIG alert, northbound 14. So if you're trying to get to the Antelope Valley, go up OK, go around, go up the 5 freeway and cut across, but stay away from the 14 right now. We're being told at least 30-minute delays, and I imagine since the fire's still going on, that will be even longer. So stay clear of the 14 freeway, Soledad Canyon going north, and the 14 is going to start probably backing up also throughout Santa Clarita. So if you can stay clear of the 14 right now, please do so. We're talking about the VIDA program. If you just tuned in, my son Kyle Goldman just finished the VIDA program. My wife Jerry and I finished it as a parent going through it. It was an incredible, hard 16 weeks, but if you're listening right now and have a teenager with challenges, I certainly encourage you to do this and to go through the program. We're talking about, why don't you just share, Deputy Ferrone, an overview of what the 16 weeks is like?
Absolutely. Well, it first starts off with the registration. Registration night, the parents show up and I give them a ton of information in about an hour and a half period. Some of them are overwhelmed by the information. I tell them, don't worry about it. It's almost like joining a team. Any athletic team, you're going to come 3 times a week. As the parent, it becomes like you're a team, and you drop them off 3 days a week. You obviously join them on Thursdays, but we give them all the information, and then 99% of the people that show up feel that program's for them. Then we set up an assessment. Assessments, 203 questions that we give each child. As North Point assessments used countrywide for different intakes for various different activities. And basically what it does is it calculates the risk factors of your child. So it gives us an overview of what we need to work on with the child. We have a great staff. We have 6 volunteer individuals who happen to be Marine Reserves. We have an Army recruiter that works out here and another gentleman from the Army. We have tutors and volunteers that help us out. We don't like to use the word boot camp. We do have aspects that they are boot camps, but we use as an academy more. So the first day, the intake night, is a wake-up call for the kids. We use some different techniques to get the kids squared away. A lot of these kids are not used to taking orders, and I don't necessarily mean we're ordering around to do anything inhumane. We're having them do lineup and squads. A lot of kids aren't used to that. They don't want to take orders, and through peer pressure and through some of our techniques, verbal techniques, the kids follow through. And I have parents all the time, my child is not going to go along with this. You're going to have a problem. That is rarity. Usually through other peer pressure and our techniques, the children go along with it. We send them on their way that night, and that's the time when your child will get in the car and say, this is ridiculous, I don't want to be any part of this. And we get some moms with tears in their eyes, and then I tell them to go back to last week when your child cussed at you at home or stole your credit card or stole your car or came home late or was under the influence. It's time to make the hard decisions. And like I said, we have had a few instances where the parents pulled them out after the intake night, and every single time I get a call, you know what, he's worse than ever or she's worse than ever. And then, the fun begins. Our first Saturday.
Kyle, you had many times in the early weeks where you didn't want to go back.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was like a waste of time. I mean, it was a free workout, but other than that, I didn't like it very much. And as it progressed, it got better because everyone kind of accepted the fact that they had to be there more than anything.
You're getting up early. I mean, it's 3 days a week. After school one day, it's one evening, which is required by the parents that we attended, and then you had a good chunk of your Saturday, every Saturday for 16 weeks, tied up with VIDA.
And the kids, they work hard in the mornings on the Saturdays, and a lot of it's consequence-based stuff that we do as far as, hey, you know what, you didn't do your homework? Okay, you're in the homework club. You're going to be doing some push-ups, sit-ups, you might be running up some hills, whatever it may be.
I was never in the homework club.
Well, I think you joined us on some other stuff, but there was just some consequence-based stuff, and we did some close order drill. At 12 o'clock, the kids kind of knew, okay, we got through the hard part of the day, and then we wind it down till 3 o'clock. We'd have lunches provided, and then we'd always bring in a guest speaker, and they covered a myriad of different topics, from drugs to car accidents, and we deal with absence and all that kind of stuff. So there's some guest speaker every week with some other topic. So.
And the speakers you bring in are people who have gone through their own experiences and their own challenges in many instances.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And everybody that comes in, they just want to help the kids. Our volunteers, they don't get paid a dime, and they're spending hours a week with your children just because they want to give back.
Day one, you do some intimidation, certainly with verbals, and we noticed that Kyle has an older brother who went through West Point, and I remember day one when we left Ryan off on his plebe summer, and it was for us it was a shock. We were there. Jerry had tears in her eyes, and you watching your kid be taken away, and so we were a little prepared for day one of Vita, and probably Kyle had seen his older brother go through
I was laughing.
But I was watching the other parents, and it brought back my first day of leaving our oldest off at West Point, and realized those parents also were going through that same hesitation and doubt. But the point I want to make is all those parents, as we progressed through the 16 weeks, we're so thankful that they stuck it out.
Absolutely. And we try to prepare the parents, like I said, telling them what they can expect, and hopefully it's not too overwhelming. And the ones that do stick it out, at the end of 16 weeks, they've just changed lives.
And it's really part of the program, an important part of the program, in getting the kids at that point to realize that they become a team.
Absolutely.
AM 1220 KHTS, we're going to be talking with Deputy Ferrone and also my son Kyle about the VIDA program more in a minute. By the way, as you're listening, scvsheriff.com, you click on the programs if you want to learn more about VIDA. Your hometown station will be right back.